Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mags. So we are here once again at the game of course, Liverpool versus Newcastle United. I'm joined by usual on the channel, of course, Calvin, FPL Penguin on the channel to talk about this big game. Both teams doing pretty well in the league at the moment. And of course, this is a game that we both know is, of course, Newcastle and Liverpool fans. You know that this game is always bringing entertainment to a show, and it's hopefully going to be similar on, of course, Wednesday night when we take a trip down to Anfield for this game. And before we get into talking about the game, I do want to say a big thanks to Calvin for coming on to the channel, of course, and talking about Liverpool. So if you want to introduce yourself to the people, Calvin, mate, obviously they know you a little bit from being on the channel previous, but if you want to introduce yourself.
Carl, thank you for having me on. It's great chatting to you about football. My name's Calvin. I have my own YouTube channel called FPL Penguin. Do fantasy football. I support Liverpool. They're my club. 15 years now. Go to quite a lot of games. Just enjoy football. Football's life, isn't it? So that's a little bit about me. So
so like you say, you've been supporting Liverpool all your life. Same here. I've been supporting Newcastle all my life, and you know we're both absolutely adore our teams. And you know, hopefully both of we will be thinking the same. You know, we can get something out of this game. I'm of course hoping that we can win this game. I'm sure you'll be the same going into this one. Again, you know, like I say, it's one of them games where it's a very entertaining game. It's always the same. You know, you cast back to the 90s when, of course, we played against Liverpool in that infamous Stan Collymore moment where he scored in the game and, of course, cost us a Premier League title. And, you know, it's a game where us Newcastle United fans don't get much luck. To be honest, when we go down to Anfield, we haven't won there since 95 in the League Cup and 94 in the league. So it is a while since we have won down at Anfield. And hopefully, you know, we can break that curse in this game on Wednesday. But looking at, of course, Liverpool's side going into this game, I will, of course, let you talk about the Liverpool side of the news going into this game, Calvin. So if you want to fire away on that, mate.
To go into Newcastle, what I think. Yeah. I think it's going to be, coming off that 9-0 that win, Scott Parker, I don't know if you've heard, has been given the boots. I think that's very harsh. Very harsh. 9-0. I couldn't believe it. I'm not getting too carried away myself. There were a lot of positives from that game. I felt like we played a lot more better. It was Bournemouth, no disrespect to Bournemouth. Yeah. Newcastle's going to be much stronger. I mean, the way we talked about it quite a bit, me and you, about how Eddie Howe's changed this team and the players he brought in, made some sensible signings. Yeah, and they're a lot more tight at the back than Bournemouth are, obviously. Salah absolutely not getting anything. No goals, 9-0, which is very, very surprising. Yeah. Maybe saving it for the Newcastle game. Who knows? So I think with injuries in midfield at the minute, we've still got Matip and Konate out. So that's kind of a plus for you guys, the way how attacking you guys are and how, you know, mentally, you know, how good you are and stuff and on the pitch. I think coming off like a 2-2 draw with Fulham at the start, a 1-1 draw with Palace, losing to Manchester United didn't help things either. Yeah. A 9-0 was great to see. But like I said, I'm not getting too carried away myself. I like to see a bit more from this. I like us to keep winning and winning because with our dodgy start to the season, we need to make up ground. If we want to win that title, we need to make up ground. You know, City's up there, Arsenal's doing well. So Trent still looks dangerous. Diaz is dangerous. We just need. I like this midfield better what we started with Elliott, Fabinho, and Henderson. We had Henderson, Milner, and Elliott versus United. I mean, no disrespect to Milner. I mean, he's getting on a bit, isn't he? He's been in the game for like nearly 20 years.
I think it's time that he moves on from the game now. You can see it by the way he plays. You know, he just doesn't have the legs, doesn't have the stamina. He just looks out of place in the Liverpool team from when I've seen the games of his play.
Harvey Elliott is got a huge future ahead of him. He's a wonderful talent, and you just look at the lads, and he needs a bit more experience. But if you mix him with the big boys in the team and you just know Jurgen really likes Harvey Elliott. So what we missed against Manchester United was Fabinho. Fabinho's a fantastic talent, keeps that midfield stable, keeps it strong. And with him not starting against Man United, it all went downhill. But when he started against Bournemouth, so like I said, Thiago, I believe, is probably not far away from returning as well. So once he's back, transfer-wise, we've been linked with Bellingham, Frankie de Jong. We even were linked with Paqueta, who's gone to West Ham, who was very heavily linked to go to you guys. But yeah, we were kind of under the radar by the sounds of it. We were going to try and hijack that deal before he went to West Ham, but it sounded like he preferred the move to West Ham instead. His loss. But yeah, I'm fine at the minute. I think obviously going to be a tough game. A lot of pluses to take from that game against Bournemouth, but it was only Bournemouth. Newcastle obviously going to be a much tougher affair. Looking forward to it. I don't know what your thoughts are, mate. Newcastle, gonna
pretty much like you say, you know, it's going to be a very tough game. Like I've said, it's a game that always brings excitement, entertainment. It's a game that I'm sure, you know, BT Sport will be licking their lips over because it's going to get a lot of views for them. You know, 8 o'clock kickoff as well under the lights at Anfield. It's going to feel like a European night, you know, if the both sets of fans, you know, get behind the game. And obviously we will, you know, Newcastle fans always get behind the game. But I have seen on occasion, non-offensive course to yourself, but quite a few Liverpool fans tend to boo in the games, which does dampen the mood of the whole experience of the match as well. But, you know, it's going to be one of them games where it's going to be tight. It's going to be very close. And Liverpool, I think, will have a slight advantage in this game in the fact that, of course, we've got quite a few injuries going in at this one. We've got Callum Wilson, who is going to be missing this one by the looks of it. John Joe Shelby, obviously, is going to be missing this one. Emil Kraft's going to be out for 6 to 9 months, so he's definitely missing this one. Bruno Guimaraes has been pictured, you know, in his hot tub. He's been pictured in an oxygen tent as well, trying to get fit for this one. I think he's going to miss this one and be back for the game against Palace. Maxi looks like he is a slight doubt for this one, so he might make it, but you know, it's still awaited on that one. Alexander Isak, we're brand new, £63 million signing. Still waiting for clearance for some reason on that one. For, you know, to be registered, it's the international clearance that's killing way at the minute on that one. He should have been able to play in the game against Wolves, but for some reason, you know, the international clearance didn't come through in time. We've got 75 minutes before kickoff, I think it is, before, you know, he's definitely not playing in that game. So if we can get in before that point for Isak's registration, then, you know, we can have Isak playing the game against Liverpool, which will be a massive boost for us because we need that pace up front. You can see it by the way, you know, I don't know if you've seen the game against Wolves that were played, but, you know, Wolves just didn't look good in that game at all. I thought their goal was decent from Ruben Neves, but it's kind of what you expect from Ruben Neves to pull out the hat against, you know, a team from now in that. And Maxi's goal was sensational. The way he just hit it, the technique of it as well. You know, there's not many players in the game that can hit a ball like that. So that just shows, you know, what kind of skill Maxi's got. So hopefully he is fit going into this game. But the pace is an area that we definitely need up top. Chris Wood doesn't have that. So having Isak able to play in that game would be immense. Like I say, it would be a massive boost forward. But Liverpool, I haven't been quite impressed by the first game of the season that he's played, of course, Craven Cottage against Fulham. You know, Liverpool didn't look very threatening in that game. Of course, ended up drawing the game against Fulham as well, which didn't look well for them. Then you go on to the next game, you know, as well. Again, not the best of performances. The game against Man United was just horrendous, I thought. The way Liverpool played in that game, they should have won that against Man United, but the way they played, you know, just wasn't great. And then that 9-0 against Bournemouth, that game was quite expected, I would say, by the way Bournemouth's been playing. I'd say Bournemouth's one of the weaker of the three that have come up out of the Championship this season. And I think, you know, it is a little harsh on Scott Parker that he has been sacked so soon, especially with, you know, the owners not really backing him in the window. He did need a little bit more investment there. But, you know, going back to talking about our game on Wednesday night, like I say, it's going to be an entertaining one. Jurgen Klopp, hopefully he'll make a couple of mistakes and a couple of errors in his selection as well, if we're lucky for this one. But like I say, you know, it's going to be a close game. I don't think Liverpool's going to be coming away with 9-0 wins in this one. You know, we're not that kind of team. If you look at the way we've played so far this season, we've got the win on the opening day against Nottingham Forest. We've had 3 draws after that. You know, in 2 of them games, we should have won them. You know, the game against Man City, we should have won because we went from 1-0 down to 3-1 up against Manchester City. That in itself shows, you know, what kind of ability we've got. Obviously, some of the players from that game won't be able to play in this game against Liverpool. But that just shows, you know, the quality that we have there in the team once all the players are fit. So it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, the referee for the game is Andre Mariner. Obviously, both myself and yourself, of course, aren't fans of Andre Mariner. Is a referee for what he's done over his time. And, of course, the last time he took charge, just going off of NUFC.com here, it says Andre Mariner, the West Midlands official, was, of course, last counted in April, taking charge of Liverpool's 1-0 success on Tyneside. So that doesn't bode well going into the game. And Andy Madley, Bobby Madley's brother, of course, on VAR for the game as well. Hopefully he doesn't get involved too much in it. But just want to get your thoughts on, of course, the Newcastle news. Like I say there, you know, what's your thoughts on that? Looking in as a Liverpool fan going into this game.
Going to this game, I think, well, like I said, you know, you're missing some key players. You know, you did a fantastic result against City. Unfortunately, you didn't win it. I would have loved you to have won that. I mean, it just shows how much he's changed that team, that club, Eddie Howe, and made some sensible signings, like I've been telling you. And I think, you know, if you obviously know Callum Wilson, that's a big blow. The new signing, new Swedish lads, he's not got through clearance yet, you know, to everything. So you're stuck with Chris Wood, who can't even score for anything, you know what I mean? So, you know, St. Max, you know, he's doubtful. He's touch and go at the minute. So, you know, you're basically, your attackers who are getting you you know, helping you get the wins or the draws, the points on the table, and the goals are going to be injured, and you're coming against a local defence that's relatively shaky at the minute. Yeah. I mean, I won't be surprised. I'll say this on this now. Depends when you're going to put it out. If Chris Wood suddenly gets a random goal against us, I'm going to say it now. I wouldn't be surprised. Of all players, Chris Wood. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I think we'll get the job done, but I don't think it'd be 9-0. I think maybe a 2-0 or 2-1. I might give you guys a goal. Who knows? It might be Chris Wood. Who knows? But I think it'll be tight. But I think we'll get the job done and hopefully get the 3 points, because we know we need to keep winning. you know, especially after that 9-0. We'll be pumped up for
Yeah.
this. But I'm not saying we're going to go out there and spank you 9-0, 10-0, something like that, and trying to get another bloody record sorted.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
think it will be tough, completely different opposition to, you know, completely different to Bournemouth. But I think hopefully we'll get the job done. I think you'll frustrate us. You'll frustrate the crowd. Obviously, that's what you're going to do. But I think we'll win it. I think we'll win it. But I think it will be a tough test indeed.
Yeah, I think, like you say, you know, it will be a tough game. I think if we play the way we played against Man City, obviously we're missing, like I said just before, you know, quite a few players from that game that played against Man City. But if we can play and show that same intensity that we showed in that game, if we can show the intensity that we just showed in the game against Wolves as well, you know, I think we could come away from Anfield with something. I'd love to see we'll come away with 3 points in the bag against Liverpool in this one. You know, pick up our first win, like I say, for the first time since 95, 96 when we won in the League Cup. In 94 in the league, of course, was the last time we won in the league. But to pick up a win at Anfield, it would be great. It would, you know, help build that confidence and keep our momentum going in the league as well. I mean, we're still unbeaten in the league. You know, one of a few teams in the league that can still say that as well. So that's pretty amazing, you know, that we can actually still say that. And we've done really well as well in the league this season. We've picked up a win very early this time from the first game. We've got some really good points as well already, you know, and it took a lot longer last season to get to this points tally that we're currently at now. And, you know, it does look like a really good season forward, but we're all seeing the similar things again, and where, you know, we're building a bit of momentum, we're showing some really good form, and, you know, putting out some really good performances. But now we're starting to see that fitness worry coming in again, because we don't have, you know, the facilities that you see at the likes of Manchester City or other, you know, Premier League, even Championship level clubs, you know, have better fitness facilities than what we've got at the moment. Yes, a little bit of it has changed since the new owners have come in. You know, there's some better equipment there to keep the players fitter and healthier, but we're still not to that level on the off the field work is, you know, the likes of a Manchester City or even yourselves, you know, Liverpool as well. You know, we're not to that level yet off the field. So that is going to hamper we're a little bit until, of course, we can get that state-of-the-art training facility in there. But it's going to be an interesting game. Definitely, I think, you know, for score prediction, I would go Newcastle to come away from this one with a win, preferably. But failing that, I'd take a point out of this game. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw on Wednesday night at Anfield. And of course, your score prediction, Calvin, mate, you were going with a
2-0 or 2-1. Do you know? I'll give you a goal. I think you'll put us on our toes, and I'll say it now, Chris Wood. You never know. We'll come back to this, but I think we're not perfect in defence at the minute. I think you'll probably scare us, but I think we'll get the job done. I'm going to give you guys a goal just to be nice, and but I'll say 2-1 to Liverpool.
All right, that's a good prediction. So before, of course, we end off the video, I just want to get your thoughts, you know, on how your seasons went so far, how you're feeling about your season so far as well. And then we'll end off this video today. Of course, and I'll give you my thoughts on how Newcastle season's gone as well. If you can give your thoughts as well on that, would be amazing as well.
Yeah, like I said, I think with the way Liverpool, like Kanate, Matip out, obviously Matip's obviously not too long from returning. I still think the problem is, I don't think it's like a must have, like, oh, it's panic stations. But I feel once Thiago's back, I feel like we'll probably be a bit more better in that midfield. We don't really need to hit panic stations. But I would really love us to look at a midfielder. There is talk, I don't know, but my uncle was sharing it about an agreement we've got with Bellingham to get him in January or something like that.
I
Or
did say that, yeah.
something. I'd love Bellingham, Jude Bellingham. I think for what, just quick on him, he's a fantastic career so far. I mean, he's so young. I mean, started at Birmingham and then he gets scouted by Dortmund and he's like one of the best midfielders in the world. I mean, imagine going from being at school or college and saying to your mates, being such at 17 years of age from in Birmingham and saying like, oh, I've just joined Dortmund now. And look at him now. He's phenomenal. He really is.
He is a fantastic player. The only niggle that I have with that one is that, of course, Borussia Dortmund, don't like to get rid of more than one player, a big player in a window. So I think that, like you say, could be in January, in the January window. I don't think it would happen in this window because they've already gotten rid of Haaland to Man City. So I don't believe the fans would be very happy if Borussia Dortmund got rid of Jude Bellingham as well in the same window. But I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I think that would happen in the January window. But your thoughts on, how your seasons went so far, Calvin, mate?
The season at the minute, like I said, it's just like dodgy start, very sluggish. 9-0 against Bournemouth is a fantastic way to go about it. Great response, should we say. I think obviously we need a lot more than that after losing to Manchester United and obviously dropping points to both Palace and Fulham. We need a bit more. We need to make a bit more of a statement. So I'm hoping tomorrow, we can make that statement. I'm not used to the midweek game weeks. It's the first one of the season. So it's like,
exactly. It's the same.
Yeah. So I think hopefully if we did sign someone, I think Liverpool, maybe if it's going to be, I don't know. God knows who's out there, who's available. We'll get linked with everybody out there at the minute. But if we sign someone who's got that experience, Champions League experience, someone who's not too much money, but maybe Jurgen just thinks we're fine at the minute, so in Jurgen we trust and yada yada yada. But we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I'm confident. But I think the title at this moment, the way I'm seeing it now, it's all about how we play against Newcastle. Like I said, Bournemouth and Newcastle to me, completely different style of play and everything like that. So Newcastle to me would be a bigger test, obviously a much bigger test. It's how we play against them. Then that will judge our season for the rest of the season. So I think at the moment I don't feel confident with the title. I'm going to be realistic. It's going to be like City, maybe Arsenal. It's early days. Maybe everyone has a little blip at the start of the season, but I think I'm just a bit worried at the minute the way we're playing and our depth. We're lacking so much depth, especially with these injuries at the minute. I'm not so sure how that's going to go, but see how we do against Newcastle, and I might have a change of heart and see what happens. So at the moment, I think for the rest of the season, I don't feel confident with the title, but obviously I see us in the top four for sure. But that top four is so competitive at the minute. Arsenal, Spurs, and everybody. Man United is slowly rebuilding themselves. Anyone out there can get that top four. It's Newcastle. Anything can happen. I mean, hell, we saw years ago Leicester win the bloody league title. Anybody can jump in that top four at the end of the season. So I think at the moment I don't feel confident with the title. See how we do against Newcastle, then I'll judge it then. But yeah.
I agree with you. I think, at this moment in time, Liverpool really don't look like they've got that kind of form to be able to go for the title. Arsenal's on fantastic form, but like you say, it's early doors in the season. We've only played 4 games. This game, of course, it'll be the 5th game when we'll play, of course, against Jews on Wednesday night, the midweek game. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I've got to say, I've been pretty impressed, like I say, with, of course, Newcastle's performance, the way we've been performing this season so far. I mean, 3 draws, one of them against the defending Premier League champions in Manchester City. It should have been a win. But, it's some fantastic performances. It's proven, what Eddie Howe can do with the team. He's had some excellent backing in the windows, in the January window, of course, and in this window. That signing, of course, of Alexander Isak coming in from Real Sociedad as well. That is a statement signing by all means. He is going to be absolutely sensational in this league. He's been well and truly talked up by a lot of well-respected people in football. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for one, says, in the interview talking about Isak, of course, Isak called up Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and he called up Zlatan Ibrahimovic and said about moving to Newcastle. He was asking about that, and Ibra just said, go to Newcastle, you can make them amazing, they're a sleeping giant and you can turn them into something absolutely fantastic. And of course, he then followed that up by saying, once Isak's done playing his career, nobody will talk about Zlatan, nobody will talk about Henrik Larsson. That just is a massive compliment coming from an absolutely sensational footballer like Ibra. And he's been in the Premier League, he knows how tough it is in the Premier League as well. So that is a massive credit to Isak, but we've done fantastic, I think, so far, 4 games in. We've got 6 points. It took quite a while last time to get to this point. 14-game head start. Everybody got over Newcastle last time, and that's not the case this time. And that's because we've got a manager in who knows what he's doing in Eddie Howe. He's playing attractive football as well, not the boring dross that was seen from Bacon Tits when he was here. But, all you've got to say for the previous guy is the fact that, he took a team like West Brom, who were in a playoff position when he took over the job, and he managed to make them go right the way down to mid-table in the Championship. That just proves, that guy's experience is absolutely dog shite at the end of the day. But, it's going to be an interesting game. Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kickoff at Anfield. Like I say, like I said earlier on in the stream, if the fans get behind it, it's going to be a fantastic game. It's going to feel like a European night. Newcastle fans will get behind it. We always do. We always fantastic support, home and away. And, I'm sure Liverpool fans will want to get behind this one as well. Rally on their team to get another win. And I'm sure a lot of them will be thinking they're going to win another 9-0, but like we've just said, earlier on, it's not going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. Newcastle don't have that kind of defence. We've only, conceded 4 goals in the 4 games that we've played. So 3 of them came against Man City, 1 against Wolves. So, we've got tight defence. So Liverpool getting through, that's going to be a very difficult task. And like you said as well, Liverpool having problems at the moment in defence. So who knows? Maybe, like you said, Chrissy Wood will jump up there, nod in a goal for Newcastle, and we'll come away with
I wouldn't be surprised.
Something in the game. It would be.
Of all players. Hopefully not to win. Hopefully it's a consolation goal. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go back on this video when it happens. There you go. But Chris Wood of all players.
That would be an interesting one. So that's it for the stream, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully Calvin enjoyed having the chat as usual about Newcastle and Liverpool, and this game that, like I said, is always an entertaining game. Both sets of fans are always really up for watching this game when it plays. It's had its ups, it's had its downs over the years as well for both sets of fans. A few more ups, unfortunately, for Liverpool over the recent years, but hopefully that's going to change on Wednesday night. So to end it off there, I'd like to thank Calvin for coming on the channel, mate, and it's been a pleasure catching up with you, talking football as well again. So if you want to plug your channels, say where people can find you, mate.
Yeah, Carl, thank you so much for inviting me on again. Great chatting to you. Yeah, they can find me on the YouTube channel if you like fantasy football, FPL Penguin on YouTube. But just to everyone that's watched this video, hit the like button on Carl's video, on this video right now, and subscribe to this guy. Absolute legend. He's growing. This channel's growing. It's getting bigger. Really enjoying his content. Even though I'm not a Newcastle fan, I just enjoy it as a football fan, watching videos from other clubs and people talking about the clubs as well. So the work you put in, mate, is fantastic. So if you're any Newcastle fans, definitely subscribe to Carl. Top guy.
Thanks, mate. Same wise, go subscribe to FPL Penguin. He's a fantastic YouTuber. He does some really good fantasy football stuff over there. If that's your kind of thing, that you're into, then do go watch Calvin. Does some fantastic in-depth dives into players that you can put in your fantasy team, and of course do be respectful to him as well. Anybody that does go over there, it's not that lad's fault. If you supports Liverpool, at the end of the day, everybody has their sins, but at the end of the day, yeah. Thanks for coming on, mate. Thanks for them kind words as well about the channel. And, likewise, your channel's absolutely fantastic. You're growing. And hopefully, you'll be able to get to that famous 100K subscriber milestone at some point. Who knows, But once again, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been a pleasure catching up as well. Talking about the football. Until next time, I'll see you all later. And however, lads.
See you later, guys.